Welcome, Ms. Kaye, to our very first stop, Trinity Memorial Church. The church first opened in 1923 and is supposed to be a structure to remember soldiers that died in World War I. This is a photo of the basement of the church, which used to be the location of the NDG food depot, which had to relocate when the church was closed in 2017 due to a lack of funding. Very cute. Before the church's closing, it hosted Sunday Mass, weddings, and baptisms. As for its architecture, all the entrances are bright red doors, which is a really nice contrast against the gray stone walls of the church. The church also has a very nice shape to it. The front, which is made up of hexagon pillars, helps break up the building and bring together all the other interesting heights and shapes that the church has, making it a nice building to observe. As for its interior, all of its windows are beautiful stained glass depictions of Christian saints and other religious figures. Everything about this building is large and grand, including this lectern, which is used for sermons and hymns, which we found a bunch of, as well as its organ, which Azzy plays with absolute elegance. This is what the inside of it looks like, and this is what a selfie inside of it looks like. That concludes our first stop at the Trinity Memorial Church. Our next stop is just across the street from the old church, a boba shop called La Bouteille. The shop is themed like a scientific lab, where you can experiment and create your own drinks. We also stopped by an iconic NDG mural called When I Grow Up, I'll Be a Kid, funded by the Ville de Montreal, and situated on Decarie and Sherbrooke. From there, we took the 102 from Decarie and Sherbrooke to Somerled and Oxford. Once we got off the bus, we walked to the Solomon Chester Academy, which technically resides just outside the border of NDG, and therefore we didn't include it in our research. Our next, and admittedly favorite stop, was Amaranto, a Mexican restaurant. It was very good. It's run by a couple from Mexico City and serves traditional Mexican-style food, including tacos, burritos, tostadas, jarritos, drinks, and more. To digest our food, we went to the YMCA Teen Zone, which included a ping pong table, a foosball table, and a pool table, where I definitely didn't sink the 8-ball. Our next religious heritage site is St. Columba Anglican Church. The church bought the land where it stands now in 1907, and it was built in 1920. The parish hall, which was a part of the church, was built in 1928 and was later used as a community center. The Anglican Church and its parish hall are no longer being used and are supposed to be turned into homes in upcoming years, but the old church has been abandoned since the Anglican diocese sold their property in 2013. The project to turn the church into homes was only accepted around 2021. In 1969, the church was visited by Cardinal Wojtyla, later known as Pope John Paul II. In 2012, the church closed for good and hasn't been used since. The following year, the religious community called Chabad NDG, our next location, and the Loyola campus started renting out the parish hall of the church to host religious events. Chabad NDG rented the center until 2016 until they found a permanent location. On the second floor of the parish, there was a daycare that had been there for 30 years. The daycare was still being used until the parish hall was sold to the church. In 2016, when the church was due to be taken down and replaced with residential homes, it was removed from a list of buildings with great heritage and, quote, architectural interest in the City of Montreal Master Plan, according to Memento.ca. This list protected it from being demolished. However, local communities fought to have it put back on the list to preserve it and its historical significance. Interesting architectural elements include the fact that it was made an architectural body that was reliant on a, quote, statement of heritage value. It also has a modest design, a core that had woodwork, visible wood beams, and even stained glass in the chancel. When the church was closed down, the owner took down 10 stained glass windows from the church without authorization. Please scan this second QR code to watch a news report regarding the church's project plan. We walked just about 3 minutes to our next location. Maison Chabad NDG was founded in 2008 in somebody's living room and moved around a lot throughout the years, and even tried buying St. Columba Church to preserve its community center in order to be able to use the space for gatherings. It currently resides at 6058 Sherbrooke Street, and its goal is to bring Jewish people closer together and create a sense of community and have a space to practice their religion. The center hosts many events such as Hanukkah, Shabbat, bar mitzvahs, and weddings. As far as its architecture, it doesn't really resemble a religious space, but more so an office building. With its modern design, the menorah is the only indication that it is a religious center. We concluded our day with another NDG must-see, the Alley Cat Gallery. The project began in 2014 as a way to discourage people from tagging on the walls. It is open all year round to the public and has become an NDG icon ever since its creation. We then made our way back to Vendôme, and that concludes our day of exploring NDG. Thanks for hanging out with us, Miss Kaye.